Welcome everybody to Jose Views. Today we're doing Cuban traditional cuisine. We're going to do a Cuban dessert for the holidays, for Christmas, all the way to New Year's. It's a very special dish in my family and really in any Cuban family that you can find. It's something that if you try it, I'm sure you'll love. It's very sweet, it's very family friendly. It's something that you can make for a long time, and I'm about to tell you, we're going to go through the steps in the process how to make something called Buñuelos. Buñuelos is something you can find around anytime during the holidays in Cuba. So typically Buñuelos not back in the day, but the way my grandma did it is with this starch called yuca, right? So this is a yuca. Typically they'll peel the yuca and then they'll scrape it on this big scraper over here. And they use the yuca to scrape it and make a dough. So this was how to make a dough and then mix it with other starches that I'm about to talk about. We're gonna do it a little different way. Highly recommend this dish. This is Jose Views Cooking and making the first cooking show and the first video of me cooking here for the channel. So I hope you'll enjoy it and you'll like to give me a big like and a big subscribe. Enjoy the dish and I hope you try it at home. So instead of using what my grandma used to use, this big yuca, we're going to use this frozen yuca that you can find at any store. It's a pack of yuca that we're going to boil with an addition to this American sweet potato and this Spanish sweet potato. So we're gonna mix them all together. Why are we using the American sweet potato? To substitute for something called malanga amarilla, which is yellow. Malanga is a starch, it's similar to yuca but a little sweeter. And we're going to use those as substitute. We're going to peel them, boil them together with the yuca, with this packet of yuca. And then we're going to use a machine to ground it all together and make this delicious dough for our dessert. I hope you like the steps and at the end you like the ending and you try it at home. So we continue with the process. We are here after we boiled the yuca and the sweet potatoes separately on different, on different pots. We boiled it for about 10 minutes and now it's the grounding process. We have to do it while the part that we're going to dough is still heated, it's still somewhat warm. We have to do this process while we're doing it. We're going to be putting one piece at a time. So we grab a spoonful or forkful of yuca and then we ground that and then we mix in one forkful of sweet potato mix and then we put it in. So one at a time as we're mixing them together to make this dough. That's the second step, well the third step. So first step, we grab the ingredients. Second step, we boiled it for 10 minutes. And now, third step is the hard work of grounding it together. And we continue with the process. I hope that when you try this at home, you really like it. I'm gonna put just a hair bit of oil in my hands. So, because we're going to get the dough, we're making the dough right now. So we're gonna get this mass and we're gonna mix it so that the yuca and the sweet potato, the Spanish sweet potato and the American sweet potato all gets filled in. So we're gonna press down, then hold it up again and make a big bowl. And then we're going to mix it again, put it against the tray again, play it out, grab it and make it into a bowl again and flip it to the next side so it all mixes in. And then we're going to go to our next ingredients, which is gonna be eggs. And also we're going to put a little bit of flour in the tray so it makes a better mix and we can easily press it down. And I'm going to put a little more of oil in my hands again, so I keep obviously making the mix here. I keep flattening it, getting it, making it into a little ball, and then flipping it around. And keep going with the process until it all mixes, it all makes sense. And then next comes the egg part. So I again grab the mass here, grab it together, grab it, make it into a nice little bowl. And then we're going to open up a little hole in the middle of this mass, right? So we got our dough. I'm gonna grab my 4 fingers and make a hole in the middle, right? And then now in that hole, we're gonna put the yolk of eggs. So we're gonna open up and get an egg and it can only be the yolk. So I'm gonna open up this egg I have right here. I'm going to throw the back part of the egg in the plate at the right. I'm gonna put it in my hand, open it. I'll put it in my hand. There you go. And then I'm gonna put the yolk in this side. And then I put the bad side on that plate. And then this little plate, I have the yolk. right here, which I will be putting in the hole I just made right there. And then I'm gonna put this plate back here, and I'm going to grab the sides and push them in to fill in this hole again while the yolk of the egg is inside this mask we just made. So that's how the process goes. And next comes the flour in the tray to keep mixing it and to keep putting it together. And soon we'll have buñuelos. So after many flips, we took it off. We took the dough that's now a ball, and we after the egg sinked in, and we were able to take the tray off and now put it to the board, which we'll grab a little bit of flour and just spray it around a little bit in the board. So now the object is that we're going to make this a little ball, and this dough has to be flipped around in here and put together until it does not, any part of the dough cannot be sticky anymore. It means that it cannot stick to your fingers, it cannot stick to your hands as you keep massing this dough together to make it really not sticky. That's the purpose now. So now you took the tray off, the egg's in there, you're mixing it in, everything is mixed in. Now you just gotta make sure that this dough is dry enough that it does not stick to any part of your fingers, and you keep flipping it and using it until it becomes ready for the next step in the process. So again, let me put a little more dough, so some parts. Again, you grab the flour and you're gonna spray it all around the board so that when you flip it around and you make it flat again, it grabs the flour from the board, and then you make it into a circle again, flip it around, make it a circle, a ball, and then back into the the board, so it grabs the flour and it becomes dry and does not stick to any part of your hand. You gotta keep doing this to the dough until the dough does not stick any more longer to you, and you just keep going through the process until you get those two steps done. Next step in the process is the crafty side. It's making the buñuelos. Now this ball of dough is already not sticky, doesn't stick to your hand, so that means that it's done. That means that it's good. So we're going to use the board to make to make them into little pieces and make them into buñuelos, which is what we're making today. Okay, so first I'm going to grab flour and I'm going to put it in the palm of my hand. All right, and that is to grab a little piece of this dough that's already made. I'm going to grab a little piece, bam. I'm going to put it in there where I put in the palm of my hand, where I put the flour. And now I'm going to make a little bowl with the palms of my hands. I'm going to be mixing that flour with the mixed dough of sweet potatoes and yuca. And now that it's not sticking everything, we can make this dough. I'm making a little ball, making sure it's covered in flour. And now I'm going to put it in the tray. And I'm going to very softly, we're going to be making it into a long stick. So I make that ball in the palm of my hand. I put it here in the board, and I'm slowly rolling it back and forth until I make it into a long stick. And I'm going to show you why we're making a long stick, because that's what makes it a buñuelo once we do the little design. So this is the crafty side of buñuelos. As you saw, the ingredients were pretty simple: yuca, sweet potato, American and Spanish sweet potato. And by the way, this long stick has to be the width of two hands, two palms together. So I'm slowly putting the two palms. It has to be evenly. So make sure that as you're rolling it, you keep the mass even. So when you make the buñuelo, you mix and you do your design of buñuelo, it's already made. Another thing, so here you see the long stick, and I'm about to show you what we're going to do with the long stick. As you can also see, we could have used anise. Anise is a type of seed, typically used in Cuba, and it gives it a little extra flavor. My grandmother always uses it. I don't like it necessarily, so I'm not going to put any anise on it, but it's definitely an option that you could do. This is pretty evenly, so now we're going to design. We're going to grab this end of the buñuelo that we made, and we're going to make it into a small little cane or ball that's going to come across almost the middle of the buñuelo, right there. So we made one end like that, and then we're going to grab this end, the other end of the buñuelo, and we're going to just folded across the whole buñuelo. And ta-ta, we have our first design of the dough of the buñuelo, which we're gonna lay here on the board. You see the buñuelo? I'm about to flip it into the frying pan here. Here you go. We let it fry for a second or two until and both sides have to be kind of bright on each side, you know, where it doesn't get burnt, but you see it's kind of starts getting to you know, freshly fried on it. And that's what we're kind of waiting for now. You know, we kind of move it to the sides. So here they're frying. We have about 3 of them that we want to take out. We want to take out the first right here. Let's make sure we grab it. Alright, so we got the first right here. We're going to put it right there. And the last one. And we're almost set. Once we grab this one, we're going to be set to go. Slippery one. Got it. And that's the last one right there. Okay, so last steps in the process. First, I do it kind of Americanize the process a little bit for me because I like the syrup, the regular syrup that we use for pancakes, and that's typically what I use. As you can see in front, there's a batch, and that's for the 24th, for all of us to start frying on the 24th and eating it. This is one already made right here, and this is a buñuelo, which is what we just made. Typically, my grandma, she continues the process from scratch, and she does a sort of mix, sort of similar to syrup, but it's a Cuban style mix with cinnamon, water, sugar, and this anise component. I talked about the anise seeds. This is a different type of anise. This is a little different product, and she mixes it into this watery, sugary substance that then gets put on the buñuelos. I use, like I said, I use regular Aunt Jemima syrup. You can also use dulce de coco. All right, this is another one typically used by Cubans. It's like a type of you know, sweetener that you can put on there that people really, really enjoy and like. But just for the sake of the argument and to make a quick process, we're going to do buñuelos the Cuban American style. So I open up the syrup, put it on the top a little bit, and yummy. We're ready to have a great dessert for Christmas and the holidays. I hope you'll enjoy it. The ingredients again are pretty simple. Yuca, almost said potato, sweet potato, American and Spanish, an egg, flour, and you saw how we mixed it. We saw what we did with the dough, and after that you fry it, and now you have the final product. Enjoy.